All right, people, I'm going to try something different this week. I'm going to take you through my process where I determine playing time for the weekend game set. We have a lot of pitchers already confirmed for the weekend, so I'm going to do the teams. I have all three opposing pitchers confirmed, and I'll try to do this in alphabetical order for you, so you can skip through the video if you like, find the teams that you're interested in. But I know we have a lot of questions every week about, like, well, why did you give this guy this much playing time and another guy not as much? And so this will just kind of go through my thought process. It's going to be a long one. Hour-long videos are not for everybody. All right, Arizona, let's go. All right, Arizona's at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh starters all confirmed. Burrows, Heaney, Skeens, so two righties and a lefty. Let's start on Arizona. I've got Corbin Carroll here. What I do is I look back at the last 20 games. I've got that set here on this page. You see the last 20 games. If they have more than one absence, I would say they're at least 90% or lower on the playing time scale. If they've only missed one game, I may give them full playing time. I kind of look at the last 7 days, see if they're hitting well. If they're not, they're more likely to take a day off. So with Carroll, he's 71st over the last 7 days. Sometimes he sits against lefties. I don't think he sits against Andrew Heaney. I think he plays all three this weekend. So I'm going to give him full for the weekend. Sometimes I give him 90 depending on how they're using him. Ketel Marte missed a couple games. House got burglarized over the All-Star break somehow. He has been playing pretty much all the time. This is a guy that I just don't trust. Last 7 days, not good. 310. I'm going to give him 90%. So that means I would think he'll go all three, but there's a chance he might sit one. So I don't want to give him the full playing time. And you see, as I put these playing time estimates in, there's a list of them here. I give myself some options as to where I want this number to fall. And then as soon as this column populates with something, basically starts the calculation process for the game week projection for each player. Perdomo, I don't think Perdomo's taken a day off, not at all in the last 20 days. He's been hitting lower in the order recently, but he's red hot. There's no way he's coming out full time. Lourdes Gurriel, better against lefties. He just sits sporadically, so two days off in the last 20. I would say there's a chance he plays all three. He's been playing a lot, but I'm going to put him at 90. I don't trust him. Pavin Smith's on the IL, so we're not going to worry about him. Josh Naylor sometimes sits. I would say he's not super hot. He does sit once in a while. I would think 90% for him. Suarez, obviously in a lot of trade talks right now, never sits. This is a tough one. I mean, I know the trade deadline's the end of the month, and we're getting there, and there's a lot of talk about him. He's probably the biggest name at the deadline right now, but he's just on fire. I'm going to let you make the decision what you want to do with him. I'm going to project him for full at-bats. I can't really project trade speculation, so I'd still play him. There's a chance he just doesn't go anywhere. I heard he doesn't want to leave Arizona anyway. So Jake McCarthy, not playing much here and there, but obviously not a full-time player, and he's not hitting, so I don't want him. I'm going to put him at 25%. Adrian Del Castillo came up. This guy can hit a little bit. Doesn't like lefties apparently, so I think he probably gets 2 out of 3. Looks like he's doing some DHing, but I know he can catch as well, so I think he's in there at least 2 out of 3, so we're going to give him 67. Grichuk, lefty specialist, right here against the last 3 lefties, and here against lefties, occasional righty, but mostly just left-handers. I think he's probably 1 out of 3. Moreno's on the IL, not going to worry about him. Alec Thomas, they don't like him against lefties. If they don't have to play him, and he is not hitting great right now, I think he's probably 2 out of 3, so give him the 67. Tim Tawa's in the minors, not going to worry about him. Jose Herrera, and this guy is catching, but not every day, and not even every 2 out of 3 days. I think he's more like a split. He could go 1 day, he could go 2. I'm going to give him that split. That's a 50% projection for him. Jordan Lawler's in AAA. I heard he was hurt. Hopefully he's off the injured list in AAA. He could be up if Suarez gets traded. He's a big-time prospect, so we'll have to watch him. Barossa is in the minors. Vargas is on the IL. McCann's here. He's catching the days that Herrera isn't. I would say he's also a split. We're not using McCann. Blaze Alexander playing a lot with Marte's absences, and then he DH'd. He played third 1 day, so he's a utility guy. He can play infield positions. Hitting a little bit. This one's tough. I mean, you probably don't have a Blaze Alexander card anyway, so you really don't have to make a call here. I would say, these are the kind of things I spend way too much time on. Like, this doesn't matter to anybody. I give him 90%. I mean, you're not going to use him anyway. but it looks like he's playing right now. And if Suarez were to get traded, I'm sure he's the guy who's in. All right, let's look at the A's. So the A's are at Houston. Let's check Houston. Looks like Houston's only confirmed 2 out of 3 at this point. So we're going to skip the A's for right now. I'm going to wait on them. Atlanta is at Texas. Scroll down to Texas. We've got 3 confirmed right-handed pitchers. Let's take a look at Atlanta. And Atlanta's one of these teams that really doesn't change their lineup very often. Their main players pretty much play every day. So let's scroll down here. Austin Riley's on the IL. We're not going to worry about him. Acuna just sat today, and this was his first day off since June 8th when he missed a day with an injury. He's been playing pretty well. I think this was just a breather for him. And I think he's probably back to his everyday status after this day off. He's not normally a guy who sits, so they were kind of just being careful with him. I'm going to give him full for the weekend, especially since he just sat today. Matt Olson, he never comes out. He's a full-time. Ozuna was a full-time, and now he's lost his way. Looks like he might get dealt. I don't trust him at all. I think you're not putting him in over the weekend. He might get dealt as well. I heard San Diego for him, which is interesting. Could platoon him with Gavin Sheets there. We'll see what happens. Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy's been really hitting. It's cooled down a little bit, but while he was on his hot streak here, he was playing, and he was DHing when he wasn't catching. And those are the kind of catchers that are interesting, but it looks like he's cooled a bit. Drake Baldwin is who their other catcher is, and he's really hitting, so I think Murphy probably plays 2 out of 3. Could play more, though. We'll give him a 75%. Drake Baldwin, they were going to want that bat in the lineup. They need all the run support they can get. And with Baldwin really hitting, I think he's probably your DH especially against those right-handed pitchers. They really like him against righties. I think he's pretty much full-time at this point until he cools off. Profar's played every day since coming off suspension. I don't expect that to change, even though he's a little cold right now. Verdugo's gone. Don't worry about him. Albies, he hasn't been coming out at all. They stayed with him all the way through his struggles, and now in the last 7 days, he's the 12th hottest hitter in the league. He's full-time. Michael Harris would sit against lefties occasionally, but he'll play against righties, and he's actually been hitting a little bit, so he's full-time. Kelenics in the minors, don't worry about him. Eli White would only play against lefties. He's not going to play at all. Maybe he gets in for 25%. Nick Allen, surprisingly, even though he has no bat, is their starting shortstop every day. So if you want to deploy Nick Allen, feel free. You're not going to get much out of him offensively, though, which is what the whole game of Silverhair is based around. So I would not be playing him. Stuart Fairchild is apparently with the Rays now after being DFA'd, so we don't have to worry about him. I'll have to change him in my player list, so he's on the correct team. But we'll do that later. Ornelas could be on the roster. He's not even on the 40-man, I don't think. Nacho Alvarez has been up, and he's been playing. And like I said, the Braves like to play their guys every day when they're playing. So while Riley's out, looks like he's getting the third base gig. Not hitting much, but he's in there. Does he get a day off? I mean, who do they put in for him? They don't really have another third baseman, so I think he's probably full-time. All right, let's roll on to Baltimore. Baltimore gets Colorado. Colorado has lefty, righty, lefty, all confirmed. So we can go ahead and do Baltimore. Baltimore, another team that pretty much plays their starters every day, but we'll run through it quick. I don't think Gunnar Henderson's coming out. He did get a breather here on the 10th against the lefty, but he's hitting. I would expect him in there each day, full-time. Jordan Westberg also got a day off on July 6th. Other than that, he's been in every day. He'd prefer to hit against lefties, so we'll put him in full-time. Adley Rutschman's still on the IL. Jackson Holliday doesn't come out. He's full-time. Tyler O'Neill is hurt again, I believe. Not surprising. With 2 lefties, I would expect him to play twice, but with the injury, I don't think we can give him a projection right now. I'm just going to leave him blank. I don't want to mess with that. Ryan O'Hearn does sit against left-handers. I would say there's a chance he plays 2 games, but maybe just 1, so we're going to give him between 1 and 2 here. Don't want to play O'Hearn this weekend. Ryan Mountcastle's on the IL. Laureano's been a pleasant surprise. I heard he's also on the trade block, but he doesn't come out. So again, we're not projecting speculation. I'm going to just project him full. If you want to sit him, that's up to you. It's Colorado. You could be leaving points on the board here with him. Ramon Urias, this is a part-time player. I don't expect him to get all 3 games, so he's not worth starting. Carlson Miners. Oh, Carlson's back up. Okay, but he's not playing. I'm just going to leave him blank. He's irrelevant. Colton Cowser, everyday player. Last 20 days, he should stay in there. Cedric Mullins, with the 2 lefties, I think there's a chance he sits at least one. I'm going to give him 2 out of 3, but you probably want to avoid Mullins this week against the lefties. Kerstead, still in the minors. Mateo, injured. Sanchez, injured. Rivera, minors. Trump, injured. Mayo played, a handful of games, but not very many. I wouldn't play him either. Luis Vasquez, minors. Jacob Stallings, this is your starting catcher right now with all the catchers they have injured. So he probably gets 2 out of 3 against his former team. We'll move on to Boston. If we look at Boston, they have the Dodgers this week. Let's see if the Dodgers are locked. They are. Everything's in bold. It's all confirmed. Righty, lefty, righty. Okay, back to Boston. Duran's really been struggling. He's been sitting against lefties. I would expect him to play against the righty. He might play against the lefty. Another guy who's on the trade block, I would say he's somewhere between 2 and 3 games expected. One of these two, I'll give him a 90. I don't think he's going to pop really unless you don't have any other options anyway, because he hasn't been that hot lately. Bregman's back from injury, but he's been sitting a lot. I don't think I can give him full playing time. Probably 2 out of 3 for Bregman at this point until he gets his legs back under him. Willier doesn't really play much against lefties, so I would expect 2 out of 3 for him as well. Ref Snyder, they love against lefties. He's been a lefty crusher for years, but he almost never starts against righties unless they absolutely have to have him. Toro was playing a lot earlier in the season. He's kind of 2 out of 3 at this point, it looks like. Roman Anthony, 317th over the last 7 days. Can't give him full playing time. He just sat today. He sat a week ago. I think there's a decent chance he misses a game, so let's give him 2 out of 3. Casas obviously on the IL with that ripped up knee or whatever he did to himself. Narvaez, starting catcher, not hitting. I'd say he gets 2 out of 3 though. Sogard's in the minors. Rami Gonzalez is really hitting for them. They're looking for a first baseman, and they got this guy who's just tearing it up. But more recently, slowed down quite a bit. I think he definitely gets the lefty. He may get some righties, but no guarantees there. I'm going to give him a split, so between 1 and 2 starts. Trevor Story almost never comes out. He's played each of the last 20 games. He's full-time. Christian Campbell in the minors. Rafaela, I took 1 day off, but played every other game, and he's got positional eligibility all over the place. He can play second. He can play short. He can play center. So I think he's in there. I'll give him full playing time. David Hamilton got sent down. Connor Wong is now your backup catcher. He was the starter at the beginning of the year. Give him 1 game. Blake Sable, minors, and now traded to the White Sox, apparently. Okay. So I'll have to get him changed. Yoshida, we have back from the IL, finally. Not hitting much. DHing. And surprisingly, he's DHing against lefties, which I didn't expect. He was kind of a platoon last year the other direction. So looks like they're giving him about 2 out of every 3. I'm going to give him 2 out of 3 this weekend. All right, moving on to the Cubs. Cubs have the White Sox. So we've got the crosstown rivalry. White Sox are going Hauser, Savale, Burke, 3 righties. Cubs should like that. They don't platoon much. Their one platoon bat is Michael Busch, and he is a guy that starts against every right-handed pitcher, so he should be in there all 3. He's been a little cold, but I'd still expect him in there. Tucker apparently dealing with a little bit of an injury, missed today. We're going to have to watch that. Assuming he's healthy enough to go, he'll obviously be a full-time player. I'm going to project him full, and we don't really need to worry about this too much because if he's still on the injury report zeroes out any projection. So until I take him off the injury report, you won't see a number by his name anyway. Seiya Suzuki, he obviously doesn't come out full-time. Ian Happ moved down in the order. They gave him 1 day off. He's hitting a little better now. He was in a deep slump for a while. He went from hitting leadoff to middle of the order, so we're going to change this. And when we change this, it gives him like a base number of at-bats depending on where they hit in the order. So we're going to move him down. It takes his projection down just a little bit. But he's still playing every day. I'd expect him in there all weekend. Michael Busch, like we were saying, platoon, but all righties, so he'll be in there. Justin Turner, I don't expect him to play. Pretty much only lefties at this point for him. We'll give him a 25. Picro Armstrong missed one game this week with a minor injury, but then came back and hit 2 homers. So I think he's fine. Give him full playing time. Dansby never comes out. Carson Kelly is your starting catcher right now, and he's even DHing some. DH today. I'd say he's at least 2, maybe 3. I don't think I can give him all 3, though. Nico Horner, full-time. Miguel Amaya is still on the IL. John Birdie, not playing enough to be relevant. Matt Shaw, all of a sudden, white hot last 7 days. So he should get his playing time back, assuming he's hitting. I think he's back to full-time here. He's better against lefties, but I think being that hot, he's going to be in there all weekend. They want him to succeed. Brujan, just a guy, doesn't play much. Moises Ballesteros, minors. And Reese McGuire's your backup catcher. He should play 1 time over the weekend if Kelly gets a day off. At a max, 33% for Reese McGuire. Let's take a look at the White Sox. White Sox have the Cubs, and the Cubs have 2 of their 3. So we're going to skip the White Sox for now because we don't have a Sunday starter for the Cubs. Moving on to Cincinnati, as Bill Belichick would say. They go against Tampa. Let's check Tampa. Tampa is locked. Righty, righty, righty. All confirmed. All right, 3 righties is good for the Reds because they have a lot of platoons. So this should be a pretty easy one to go through. Ellie doesn't come out. He's full-time. TJ Friedel will not come out against a righty. Rarely comes out at all, but definitely not against a righty. Matt McClain missed a game today. I don't really understand that one. He's been hitting pretty well. I think it's just a breather. If we find out it's more or it's an injury or something, he'll be on the injury report and he'll get zeroed out. But for now, he's full-time. Encarnacion Strand is in the minors. Gavin Lux plays against all righties. He's hitting right now. I expect him all 3. Austin Hayes has been a surprisingly good hitter for the Reds, and he's playing every day. Spencer Steer has started to play every day, but now didn't play today. So maybe this was just a rest day. Francona gave a couple of guys the day off that play most of the time. So I would expect Steer to be back in there. That's his only day missed in the last 20. If we find out he has an injury, he'll be zeroed by the injury report. Tyler Stevenson, day off today. Been playing pretty much 2 out of every 3. So I give him a 67 as a catcher. Espinal normally only plays against lefties. Occasionally here and there against a righty, but not very often. I'd say 25 at the most. Trevino's your backup catcher. He probably gets 1. Blake Dunn is in AAA. Jake Fraley, another guy who hits against righties. And you're looking at 3 righties, so as long as he's healthy, I would expect him in there. Looks like he's hot right now, 38th best over the last 7 days. Noelvi Marte has been playing every day, 1 day off back on the 6th of July. I think there's a child behind me. Let's give him full time. Will Benson, underrated player, and they're not using him a whole lot. I kind of expect him to get at bats against right-handed pitching, but he isn't right now. So I don't think we can give him certainly don't think we can give him full playing time. I don't even know if we can give him 2 out of 3. I'd say he's between 1 and 2 starts right now until we figure out what's going on. If you look at his StatCast numbers, though, that's a guy that they should be playing when a righty's on the mound. Big-time power bat. Connor Joe, another platoon guy against lefties, so I don't expect him to play or start at all. Reese Hines is in the minors, and Ryan Vilade also in the minors. All right, let's take a look at Cleveland. They are at KC. KC has righty, lefty, lefty confirmed for the weekend. So we go look at Cleveland, the 2 lefties, kind of interesting here. You've got a guy like Stephen Kwan, who was sitting against lefties earlier in the season. Looks like he's playing against all of them now. Back from injury. I expect him to go all weekend. Jose Ramirez has been on fire, never comes out. You can expect full playing time for him and Kwan. Lane Thomas back on the IL. Kyle Manzardo, better against lefties, but they platoon him for some reason. So he's really only starting against righties right now. So I'm going to go 1 out of 3 for Manzardo. Angel Martinez, I expect him to play every day. He's been really hitting. I don't think he's coming out of the lineup. Carlos Santana, 1 day off in the last 20. Not hitting a lot. Old guy. Maybe he gets a day. I'm going to go 90 on him. John Kenzie Noel. He usually is the left-handed specialist. Or is he? Well, he's in the minors, so we don't have to worry about him. Daniel Schneemann does not play against lefties. I would expect Schneemann to be on the bench for 2 of the 3, so we'll give him 33%. David Fry, they love putting him in against lefties. He actually must have gotten a couple hits. Good for David Fry. He was really struggling. I think 2 out of 3 for Fry. Nolan Jones, guy that they don't love against lefties. He has played against a couple of them. His hitting is kind of average right now. I would say 1 or 2 starts. Arias is on the IL. Bo Naylor's your starting catcher. I'd say 2 out of 3 for him. Brian Rocchio, they start him and then they pinch hit for him because he's got no bat most of the time. But last 7 days, a little bit better. I expect him to start all 3. Jonathan Rodriguez, this is a guy they'll use against lefties, so I think he could possibly get 2. Austin Hedges, backup catcher. That's 1 start. Will Brennan, IL, and we're done with Cleveland. All right, let's look at Colorado. They're at Baltimore. Baltimore does not have anybody confirmed yet, so we're going to skip Colorado for now. Detroit at home against Toronto. And Toronto's confirmed righty, righty, righty. So 3 righties for Detroit. Detroit's a team that does platoon quite a bit, so I'll run through that with you. Colt Keith sits against lefties, but he will be in there against righties. Well, let's just start at the top. Kerry Carpenter's on the IL. Justin Henry Malloy in the minors. Andy Ibanez in the minors. Gleyber Torres does not come out unless he's injured full-time. Parker Meadows, about half the time, so let's go about half the starts. Riley Green just got a break. I expect him in there against all the righties full-time, especially with the break just coming today. Spencer Torkelson hasn't missed a game in the last 20. He's full. Colt Keith, I'd expect him to start all 3. Manuel Margot, minors. Jace Young, minors. Matt Vierling. Vierling plays more than you'd think, but he's still a split. I would say they like him better against lefties. I would say maybe 1 or 2 starts for Vierling. McKinstry has been playing quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if he sat 1, so we're not going to give him full. I give him about 90%. Wencel Perez, 3 non-starts in the last, 15 games, so I think he's probably 2 out of 3 right now. I don't think I can project him more than that. Trey Sweeney, maybe 2, but probably closer to 1. I'm going to give him split. You're not starting him anyway. Jake Rogers, backup catcher, 1 out of 3. Baez was playing a lot for a while, but he's splitting time now, so I would say he's 50% at best. Dylan Dingler, starting catcher, 2 out of 3. All right, done with Detroit. Houston has the Athletics, and the Athletics have lefty, lefty, righty confirmed. So 2 lefties against Houston this weekend. Let's see what Houston's looking like. All right, so they gave some regulars a day off today. First day off in a long time for Cam Smith or Altuve. I expect them both back tomorrow. Let's take a look here. All right, Altuve, like I said, expect him back full-time. Paredes is on the IL. A lot of guys on the IL. Jeremy Pena still hasn't made it off the IL. I heard he was close, but that was a week ago, and he's still on there, so we're not doing him. Yordan Alvarez still on the IL. Christian Walker, he doesn't normally come out unless he has a baby, so he's full-time. Yainer Diaz, that's your starting catcher. He does DH here and there, but he's not DHing every time he sits. 2 out of 3. Jake Myers is on the IL. Cam Smith, I expect full-time. Caratini's been great for them. 2 lefties. Yeah, he's not going to play all weekend. I would say 1 or 2 for Caratini. Brendan Rodgers on the IL. Chas McCormick is back. He's not very good. I would say 1 or 2 starts probably for Chas McCormick. Dubon had a nice stretch there. I'd say he's playing about 90% right now, so he could play the whole weekend, could miss one. Zach DeCenzo, you're looking at another IL guy. Taylor Trammell's been playing quite a bit for them, but not full-time, and I don't think they love him against lefties, so we'll go 1 or 2 for him. Cooper Hummel, looks like they do like him against lefties. I think he's probably 2 out of 3 at this point. Luis Gourmet's on the IL. Really beat up. Bryce Matthews is up. I don't think he has a card yet, He's been kind of exciting, so we'll see if he can maintain some success here at the big league level. I think he's one of those guys that really high strikeout rate in the minors. They didn't think it would translate, but he's off to a hot start, so we'll see if he can maintain. This could be a Kyron Paris situation, though. We'll see. Royals. Royals have Cleveland. Cleveland has righty, lefty confirmed. We can go ahead and do the Royals. And for the teams I'm skipping, I'll come back and do this again sometime tomorrow. I'll take a look, see if we have some more confirmations, get the rest of those teams done. If I don't have anything confirmed by tomorrow night, I have to go with what I have. So, you're over there. Okay. All right. I have a child here watching Venom in the background, making cameo appearances apparently. So, KC has Cleveland. Righty, lefty. So 2 righties and a lefty for Kansas City. I know Witt's dealing with some sort of injury. That's why he missed today's game. Little day-to-day. If he's healthy enough to go, he's full-time, obviously. India got the day off today. That's interesting. I don't think he has an injury. I think they just gave him a day. He's normally full-time. Pasquantino, they gave him the day off the day before. I would expect him back in there. He just hit 2 bombs today, so he should be good. Sal Perez is on fire. He doesn't come out. Hottest hitter in the league over the last 7 days. It's funny, a lot of the guys I touched on in my second half Surger video are off to great starts here in the second half, so that's pretty cool. Canna, IL, Kevin Biggio's in the minors. Michael Garcia's had a great year. A little cold recently. He will sit randomly here once in a while, but I expect him in. They need his bat. Drew Waters, minors. Jack Caglianone, he sat a couple times, but he's been getting hot. I think they want him in there. I expect him to play. I'm going to give him a 90 for now. If he plays all weekend, he probably becomes full-time by next game week. Hunter Renfroe, DFA'd early in the year. Michael Massey's still on the IL. Isbell, they like him against righties more than lefties. You can see him, he's sat against some lefties back here, sat against one righty. I don't think I can give him full-time, but he's close. I would say he's a 90% as well. Freddie Fermin's your backup catcher. He actually been playing a little bit more. They've been giving Sal Perez some DH spots and some first base work, so I'm going to go split. I think he's either 1 or 2 games this weekend. Blanco is in the minors. Lofton is on the IL. Adam Frazier, they just traded for him, but not a full-time player. I would say he's probably 1 or 2 at the most. All right, let's move to Los Angeles. And the Angels get Seattle. Seattle's confirmed Wu, Kirby, Gilbert, 3 righties. Look at the Angels. Okay. Mike Trout. So Mike Trout hasn't come out much, not since June 29th. DHing, I don't think that's a problem for him. I would expect him to go all weekend against 3 righties. Seanwell only missed 1 game. It was against a lefty. I think he's good to go. Zach Neto never comes out. He should be good to go. Taylor Ward never comes out. He should be good to go. Ray Soler might be heating up a little bit. Finally, he hasn't done much all season. They certainly like him better against lefties. He's pretty split right now. I don't think I trust it. I'm going to give him split time. Logan O'Hoppe, starting catcher. I'd expect 2 out of 3 for him. Travis d'Arnaud, backup catcher. I'd expect 1 out of 3 for him. Yohan Moncada. And sitting against some lefties, but playing against all the righties. I expect him in all weekend. Joe Adell. Joe Adell's had a nice breakout season. Not as hot recently, but still not coming out of the lineup full-time. Renifo plays every day, full-time. Kevin Newman, not worth looking at. I would say 1 out of less than 1. Kyron Paris is in the minors. Chris Taylor is on the IL. Oh, no, he's back. Still not worth playing. Scott Kingery in the minors. Lamont Wade, just not playing enough to be relevant. Dodgers. All right, let's check out the Dodgers. The Dodgers have Boston. Boston has confirmed their starters. Righty, lefty, righty. So we're looking at 2 right-handed starters. Tani's obviously not coming out. I did see a tweet today that Betts may miss the weekend series with personal reasons. I don't think you're missing much at this point. Pretty subpar season for Mookie Betts. Hoping he can get it going. He should be one of my best cards, and I haven't really gotten anything out of it. So, if he's in, he's full-time. I think we'll know something tomorrow. Freddie Freeman, I don't think he comes out. He seems to be healthy enough to play at this point. Mateo's getting up there. He does sit every now and then. I'm going to put him at 90% for right now. Will Smith, they just will not play full time. I mean, obviously he's a catcher and they have Ohtani at DH, but Will Smith's been so good. But he's only 2 out of 3. He's a daily. Max Muncy's still on the IL. I heard he's close. Andy Pages been really good for them. Some mental errors in the field lately, but he's still a full-time player. Tommy Edman, almost a full-time player. Play all over the diamond. 90% probably here. Conforto, they obviously like better against right-handed pitching. You only get 2 this weekend. I think he starts twice. Enrique Hernandez, IL. Miggy Rojas, split at best, 1 or 2 games. Hunter Fiducia, minors. Dalton Rushing, he's going to start 1, I'm assuming. Hai-Sung Kim, he's been playing a little bit more. They seem to really like him against righties. This guy can really hit. I think you probably get 2 out of 3 from him. Asturio Ruiz, they'll start him against the lefty, so 1 start there. James Outman, I think he's too sporadic to put a number on, so we're going to put 25 here. All right. Let's check Miami. Miami's at Milwaukee, and the Brewers are starting righty, lefty, righty. So let's check Miami's lineup tracker. Xavier Edwards, pretty much an everyday guy at this point, and he's hitting, so I'd expect him in there. Otto Lopez, doing well. Took a day off back on the 7th, but he's hitting right now. I expect him in there. Jesus Sanchez, they don't like him as much against lefties. I only expect 2 out of 3 for him. Ramirez, he doesn't come out full-time. Wagaman was playing every day earlier in the year. Now he's a lot more sporadic. I would say he's 1, maybe 2. So I'm going to give him a split. Kyle Stowers, obviously on a big roll lately. They do sit him against some lefties. I don't think you can give him a full projection right now, even as hot as he's been. I wouldn't be surprised if he did not start the game against Quintana. So I'm going to give him a 90. Nick Fortes, backup catcher, we're going to give him 33. Griffin Conine, IL. Connor Norby, IL. Matt Mervis, AAA. Derek Hill, IL. Grant Pauly, is he back? He is back. And doesn't like the lefty, so I would give him 67%. Dane Myers, pretty much an everyday guy, but missed today, missed the 11th, missed the 7th. Not hitting at all, 384th. I don't think you can trust him for more than 2 starts. That's the max I'd go on him. Javier Sanoja. This is like a utility guy playing the outfield or at third base. But maybe 1 start for him at most. Liam Hicks. This is your catcher, first base, DH guy. Not a full-time player, though. I'm going to give him a split. Rob Brantley is in the minors, so we're just going to get rid of that. Victor Mesa in the minors, and Heriberto Hernandez is a part-time player. So I'll give him a split. All right, we got Milwaukee at Miami. Now, Miami did not confirm Yuri Perez for Sunday yet, so I'm going to hold off on Milwaukee. Minnesota is at home for Washington. Washington has lefty-righty confirmed, and this will be an interesting one because Minnesota has a lot of platoons. All right, Byron Buxton. So Byron Buxton has been very good all year. Did take a day off on Sunday the 20th, so fairly recently. I'd expect him to go all 3. Obviously, he loves hitting against lefties. Yeah, we're going to give him full time. This is a guy that I'd be inclined to do the 90% thing on just because of all the injury risk, but he's been fairly healthy this year, so hopefully he can keep it going. Julian is at AAA. Larnick, they don't love against left-handed pitchers. He's not hitting very well. I think he only gets 1 start here, 33 on him. They're going to try other bats. Willie Castro is pretty much every day at this point. Matt Wallner, another guy. They do not like to play against lefties. Yeah, he's sad against the last 3 that he's faced, so I think he's probably only 1 start this weekend. Jeffers, I would expect to be in there against the 2 lefties, and he'll probably sit the other day. So I can give him a 67 as the catcher. He might actually DH, because without Wallner and Larnick, does Jeffers DH against lefties? He does. So I think there's a decent chance But they're gonna want Vasquez in because he's actually hitting now. This is where it gets tough. So I'll sit here and think about this forever, and this is why this takes me a couple hours to get through. I'm going back and forth on what to do here. I'm gonna give Jeffers 90%. I think there's a pretty decent chance he plays all three, but I'm not 100% sure on it. France, I would expect in against the two lefties. He's been kind of part-time lately, but I'd expect him against the two lefties. I gotta try to get him going again. Brooks Lee, not hitting at all. I mean, what do you do with him? He normally plays against lefties. I think he probably gets two. Correa should be in there all three. He took a day off today. It was his first one in a long time. I expect full for Correa just because of that day off today. Keishel, I heard, is on a rehab assignment, so that'll be interesting when he rejoins the team. He had a really nice little stretch to start the season, and then I think he broke his arm or something, so he's been out for a long time. Kersey never plays. I'm not even going to bother with him. Royce Lewis has been getting hot, and that was noted by Raven in our Discord. I think there's a good chance he goes all three. They're starting to give him longer stretches of playing time. Now just hopefully he can avoid the injury. I'm always hesitant to put 100% playing time on Royce Lewis because been so many injuries over the last couple of years. Hell, I'm going to do it. I think it's worth a shot this weekend. Jonah Bride, minors. Harrison Bader, I think they'll play him against the lefties, probably 2 out of 3. Miranda's been in the minors all year. Vasquez, at least 1. He might even play 2. This is a weird situation for the Twins with 2 lefties. I'm going to give him 1 or 2. Gasper, minors. And Cody Clemens is more of a right-handed specialist, and even then, he's not playing a whole lot. I'd say he's half. But against lefties, he's not going to start. I'd say he gets 1 start, probably. All right, let's move on to New York. They're at San Francisco. San Francisco does not have a Sunday starter confirmed, so we're going to skip the Mets for right now. The Yankees get Philly. Righty, lefty, righty. Let's take a look at the Yankees, see what their patterns look like on the lineup tracker. So we got Aaron Judge. I don't expect him to come out of the lineup ever, full time. Ben Rice, I really want to see him in the lineup more, but they're kind of doing this thing where they rotate like 4 guys for 3 spots or 5 guys for 3 spots, and so they're not playing any of those guys full time. Right now, Ben Rice is just a split. And it's too bad, but I think he's probably 1 or 2 starts. Hopefully he either gets dealt or somebody else gets dealt. He gets more time because his expected stats are pretty incredible, like top 10 in the league, and he's not even playing every day. So frustrating. Trent Grisham. So had a hot streak. I don't think handedness of the pitchers really matters, but he's certainly not playing every day right now. He's hot the last 7. I think he probably gets 2 out of 3, but I don't know that for sure. We're going to give it 2 out of 3. Goldschmidt, I'd say there's a decent chance he's in there for 2 out of 3. He just sat the last 2 days. Bellinger's been on fire. He sat unexpectedly on Monday after playing a huge stretch in a row. I expect him to play all 3 games. Jason Dominguez had a pretty good stretch. Now he's cold, playing about half the time. I'd say 1 or 2 for Dominguez right now. Jazz Chisholm doesn't come out full time. Gio Stanton likes the lefties better, but will play against a lot of righties. Pretty hot right now. I would say probably 2 out of 3 for Stanton. Anthony Volpe doesn't normally come out full time. DJ LeMahieu got cut. Austin Wells, starting catcher, 2 out of 3. Oswaldo Peraza. He's been playing a lot of third base. I'd say he's between 1 and 2 starts here. Cabrera's on the IL. Reyes is in AAA. Escara is your backup catcher. Maybe 0 to 1 starts for him. Let's go to Philly. Yankees, righty, lefty. And Philly's another pretty platoon-heavy team. We'll start at the top with Trey Turner. He's not coming out. Bryce Harper, I'd expect him in there every day. He does sit every so often, but he's red hot. I expect him to stay in the lineup. Bryson Stott should play against the righties and sit against the lefty. That is 67. Schwarber's not coming out. Alec Boehm is on the IL. Castellanos doesn't come out unless he pisses off the manager. Max Kepler doesn't play against the lefties. Can't hit them at all. JT Realmuto, starting catcher, but will sit the third game if it's a day game after a night game, so I'll give him 2. Sosa, he'll play against the lefty, so 1 game for Sosa. Rojas, same thing. He's going to play against the lefty. Brandon Marsh, the 2 righties. Marchand, backup catcher, give him 33. Weston Wilson, probably doesn't have a card. You don't need to worry about Weston Wilson. Otto Kemp was filling in for Harper when he was out, and now he's playing third base for Bohm. He's okay, I guess, but I don't think he has a card. This is, again, I'm wasting time on this, and there's no reason to. Maybe he plays 1 or 2 games. It doesn't matter. You're not going to play Otto Kemp. Let's go to Pittsburgh. All right, Pittsburgh gets Arizona. Arizona's going righty, righty, righty. Good for O'Neal Cruz. O'Neal Cruz normally does not sit against right-handed pitchers. Usually it's a lefty. And he's kind of middling right now, but he's all right. I think he's in there against all 3. Brian Reynolds, he's not coming out. Finally heated up a little bit. Andrew McCutchen just sat. He does miss games here and there. I'd say 90 on him. I don't trust him to be 100% in all the time. Canario is playing a lot after the managerial change, and now he's almost playing never. So we'll give him 25%. Joey Bart, that's your starting catcher. They're kind of going split here on the catching duties like every other, so I would say he's more split. I don't know who's up first. Doesn't really matter. Tommy Pham finally heated up after a really bad start. I just don't trust him to play every day, though. Jack Sawinski, really liked him a couple of years ago and not done anything this year, so I'd say he's a split. We're not sure if he's playing or not. Horwitz is hot, and he plays against all righties, so he will be in there for all 3. Nick Gonzalez been playing almost every day, and I think that continues. Key Brian Hayes is actually hitting. I think he plays all weekend. Kiner Falefa doesn't come out. And Andy Rodriguez and Emmanuel Valdez are both on the IL. Triolo finally got sent to the minors. Good riddance. And Henry Davis is your other catcher. So when catchers are split this way, they're pretty much useless to us and so rare you can't really use them. You could throw them in a daily, I guess, but why would you put Henry Davis in a daily? There are plenty of other good options at middle infield. Let's go San Diego. We're getting there. San Diego plays St. Louis. St. Louis has locked their starters, righty, lefty, righty. Oh, this is a juicy one. Love that Miles Michaelis matchup for everybody. Padres. All right, Tatis. Yeah, he's not coming out. Full. Manny Machado, full. Luis Arraez, full. Jackson Merrill, full. Bogarts, full. Gurriel, gone. Ornelas, minors. Gavin Sheets. He's been full, struggling a little bit lately, but if anybody's going to break you out of a slump, it's Miles Michaelis. Cronenworth, he sits against lefties every so often. That's tough. He's hitting pretty well. He's probably in there all 3. I'm going to give him a 90. Diaz, this is another situation where they kind of have a split catcher, so Jason Hayward's gone. Iglesias has actually been coming up with some big hits for him, but he's still not starting all that much. I would say 1 or 2, probably, for Iglesias. Martin Maldonado's your other catcher. Again, like I said, they're splitting. Tyler Wade finally got a start, first time in about a month. I don't think you can take anything off of that, so let's go 25% for him. Gonzalez, free agent. They cut him. Lockridge is in the minors. And Mason McCoy is also in the minors. All right. We are on to Seattle. Seattle faces the Angels. The Angels have confirmed righty, lefty, righty. 2 righties for Seattle. Another team with a lot of platoons. This should be a pretty easy one. Julio doesn't come out. Robles still on the IL. J.P. Crawford doesn't come out. Raleigh just took a day off on Wednesday. I would expect him to play all the games. He normally doesn't sit, so I think he's probably just worn out from All-Star break and all that. Gave him a day off. Polanco, they've been using against almost all righties. When he sits, it's against a lefty, and with one lefty, I don't think I can give him all three. Could be all three. He is a switch hitter. I'm going to go 90 for Polanco. Rosarena doesn't come out. Garver will likely start against the left-handed pitcher, either DH or catcher. Probably they'll have him catch, and they'll let Raleigh DH. So I'm going to go 33 on Garver. Raley should start against the two righties. So that would be 2 out of 3. Rowdy Tellez is in Texas. Dylan Moore will play against the lefty, so 33% for him. Solano, he should start against the lefty, so 33. Ryan Bliss still on the IL. Master Boney's been playing more than he probably should, but he's just a random. Leo Rivas, AAA. Ben Williamson's playing a lot. Let's give him 2 out of 3. Leote is AAA. Dominic Canzone should get both the righties, so that's 67. Cole Young. What do they do with Cole Young? Plays about as much as Williamson and is maybe a little more productive, a little less productive. I don't know. They're both about the same person. Let's say 2 out of 3 for Cole Young. All right, we got San Francisco. They play the Mets. Let's see. Are the Mets confirmed? Yes. Righty, lefty, righty. Fine, San Francisco. All right. Devers, is he going to come out? I don't think so. Yastrzemski, when he's hot, he hits against lefties. When he's not, he sits against lefties. And he's not. So I'd expect 2 out of 3 from Yastrzemski. Elliot Ramos, he should be in there every day. Willie Adames plays every day. Matt Chapman plays every day. Casey Schmidt plays almost every day. I'm going to give him a 90. Luis Matos, normally just the lefties. I would say 1 out of 3 for Matos. Wilmer, lately, I'd say he's more of a split. He could play 1 or 2. Dom Smith had a nice little stretch, but he's mostly a split at this point too. Jung-Hoo Lee, they'll randomly give him days off. He's really been struggling after a good start, but I expect him to play full weekend games because he had that day off today. Tyler Fitzgerald, he's back in the minors. Patrick Bailey, starting catcher. I'm going to give him 2 out of 3. Sam Huff, minors. Gerard Encarnacion, injured list. Brett Wisely, pretty sporadic, random utility guy. Don't use him. St. Louis, we're almost done, everybody. All right, righty. They're going against San Diego, but San Diego hasn't confirmed Saturday or Sunday, so we're going to skip St. Louis. Tampa Bay going at Cincy. Cincy is confirmed righty, lefty, righty. Tampa also uses a lot of platoons. I can show you how they operate. Brandon Lau is injured. I think they did place him on the IL, so he will be out of the lineup. I'm going to skip him. Yandy, red hot, never comes out. Play him. Josh Lowe will sit against the lefty most of the time. I would say he is 2 out of 3. Matt Tice going to be your backup catcher. 1 out of 3. Junior Caminero randomly gets days off, even though he's red hot, and I don't think they're taking him out right now. I hope not. I want to play him. Full time for him. Aranda, he'll sit against the lefty, despite being an all-star. Mangum, he just gets random days here and there. I would put him at a 90 right now. Chris Morel, where have you gone, Chris Morel? I would say he is split at best. Probably only 1 out of 3, but maybe he gets another start. Either way, you're not playing him. Caballero, too inconsistent. He's a split. Chandler Simpson, I'd say he's in there 90% of the time. Misner is in AAA. Danny Jansen is your starting catcher, 2 out of 3. Johnny DeLuca, still on the IL. Taylor Walls, I'd say probably 2 out of 3 for Taylor Walls. Looks like they give him normal breaks. Rourke Vet's in the minors. Coco Montes is in the minors. Richie Palacios been on the IL a lot. He's on the IL right now. Hassan Kim, I thought he got hurt. Yeah, he did get hurt. So I guess we'll have to keep an eye on that. But right now he has missed the last 2 games. If he does play, he's probably like a 90. And again, my IL list will zero that out if it has to. All right, couple more. Texas is getting Atlanta, and Atlanta's going with lefty, righty, righty. Okay, so Seager is hot, and he hasn't come out in a long time. Now, he's a guy that I would be cautious with because he just tends to take days off every now and then to keep him healthy, but he's really rolling. I don't think they want to take him out right now. I'm going to go full on Seager. White Langford I expect to play all the time. Josh Smith will sit against lefties, and that's a problem for playing him in a full game week, so I'll go to him at 67. Sam Haggerty is on the IL. Josh Young got sent down to the minors. Is he back? He's back. I honestly, so Berger got hurt. They brought Josh Young back. I would expect Josh Young to play full-time while he's back. Jack Peterson, I don't know what his injury is, but he's been out like forever. Let's see if he gets back by the end of the year. I don't know what's going on. Adolis Garcia's fine. He should be in there all weekend. Pilar's way gone. Dustin Harris in the minors, I think. Yeah. Jake Berger's on the IL. Jonah Heim had a stretch where he was playing all the time. Now he's kind of not. So I would say 1, maybe 2 games. Marcus Semion's not coming out. He's a full. Evan Carter should play against the righties. Is he hitting against lefties? Nope, not starting against any lefties, so 67 for him. Gashioka, I felt like he got hurt. Yeah, he's injured. Normally your starting catcher, so we'll have to see how significant this injury is. He could be back. Again, the IL list will take care of that if it has to. Ezekiel Duran, I think you're going to see him start against the lefty. And Nick Ahmed is way gone. Toronto and Washington, then we're done. Toronto gets Detroit. Detroit has righty, lefty, righty confirmed. And this Toronto team is just rolling. What did I say? Righty, lefty, righty? Oh, they get Scooble. Well, that'll hurt. Okay, so you can see this. Guerrero. I don't expect Guerrero to come out ever. Bo Bichette's been hot. Let's keep him in. Let's keep it rolling. Second half surge. Dalton Varsho's still on the IL. Santander's still on the IL. George Springer actually played all 3 so far this week. He's hot again. I just don't trust it. They're going to sit him. They're just going to randomly sit him. He might play all 3. They might sit him. Jimenez on the IL. Alejandro Kirk is your starting catcher. But again, I think he only plays 2 out of the 3. Addison Barger, love this guy. He is hitting against some lefties now, but not consistently enough to give him full playing time. I'd say there's a good chance he goes all 3, but they will almost, it's Scooble. They're going to sit him against Scooble. 67 for him. Ernie Clement, only 1 missed game in the last 20, and 1 missed start in the last 20. I think he's a full-time player. Alan Roden, he's in the minors. Will Wagner, he started against almost all the righties recently, and he's hot. I expect him to get 2 out of 3. Lucas, all righties, 2 out of 3. Davis Schneider will get the go against Scooble. Good luck. Miles Straw will almost certainly go against Scooble. Again, good luck. Taylor Heineman, backup catcher, get 1 game. Clase's in the minors. And Lo Perfido, I'm not sure what to do with him. I'm going to give him either 1 or 2. He's probably 2, but whatever. You're not playing Joey Lo Perfido. Okay, let's do Washington and get out of here. Okay, Washington's at Minnesota. And Minnesota doesn't have a Sunday starter confirmed, so we're going to skip Washington. All right, so that's going to wrap this up. I'm going to go through and edit all the stupid pauses out, but it's still going to be a really long video. If you made it this far, you are a real one. I appreciate you. Good luck this weekend. Let me know if you have any questions. Let's discuss in the Discord, however you want to. I don't know what I'm even saying anymore. I'm tired. Just real quick, I'll show you what happens here. So once I get this playing time to pop up in this column, you'll see it in the looking ahead tab. Most of these players will have projections. Only the teams that I didn't do will be zeros. Everyone else will have a projection. And so this is going to be for game week 35. It'll also populate in column J here of the main sheet we look at every day. And if you go to your gallery organizers, those players that have projections will show in your organizer. But don't make your lineups yet because we're still waiting on a couple teams. All right. Thanks for watching.